What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and here we go with the box office predictions. Okay, so if you saw the box office breakdown last, you know that I opened up my mouth and I said I'm gonna do 3 films this week. 3, because we got 3 wide release opening films, and I wanted to check them all out, but then I looked at my schedule and I was like, holy crap, how am I gonna do this? Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. A promise is a promise, so we're gonna jump right into it. No time wasted. This is Box Office Pro, where the movie fans go. Long range box office forecast, the bad guys, and the unbearable weight of massive talent. All right, so we know we kind of look at the pros and cons on these particular articles, so let's jump right into it. There's a third film, as we've talked about, and it mentions it right here, The Northman. The Northman is that third film. It said that they expected a potential change to its distribution plans given its minimal marketing thus far. Well, it's still on the slate as far as I can see. Check my AMC app. Yep, there it is. So yeah, we're just going to keep on pushing forward as if it's coming out, and if something changes in the next couple of days, yeah, that'll be a surprise. But nevertheless, let's start with the bad guys. All right, so bad guys. Pros: animated films have been few and far between throughout the pandemic as studios have waited for family comfort levels to improve. I agree with that. The family films really haven't been coming out. Of course, we had Sonic. That was a big family film. Of course, you had Sing, that kind of had a very long run from the end of 2021 all the way through the spring. So that was pretty much it. There wasn't really much in terms of family fare, like on a wide scale. So yeah, this movie coming in at this particular time is a good move. Okay, and then it moves on talking about Universal's marketing arm. It's a Dreamworks film. People trust Dreamworks. You know, Dreamworks has done a lot of great films in the past. You know, of course, you have Shrek, you have Madagascar, you have The Penguins of Madagascar, you know, you had How to Train Your Dragon. Lots of big budget, big family films, and people have come to trust Dreamworks, so I think that that's going to help them. And then, of course, says no major studio animated films between now and Bob's Burger, which opens in late May, and then Lightyear from Disney coming in mid-June. There's really nothing in its way in terms of an animated film. So if parents are out there like, yeah, we want to take our kids to see an animated movie, this is the one. There's really nothing else in theaters. All right. Cons: Sonic. Yeah, Sonic is standing right there, just like barring the door, like, yeah, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. You think I'm kidding, right? Look at this. Let me show you these numbers real quick. This is the domestic opening for yesterday, for Monday, okay? This is Tuesday that I'm recording this. Sonic took #1 back from Fantastic Beasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that. It actually went up 4% from its previous Monday. Sonic is not going anywhere anytime soon, okay? Sonic is right there waiting on the bad guys, like, what you gonna do, okay? You think you about to knock me off? I think I'm gonna knock you down. That's gonna be a big problem for the bad guys. Not only that, as it states here, as an original film, it's opening in a crowded corridor. I mean, there's so many movies out in theaters right now. It's absolutely insane. I think that the bad guys is gonna struggle, but I think it's also going to do very, very well once things start because again, it's an animated film. There's nothing else animated out right now. So I think once, you know, you get through that Doctor Strange, because that's going to be that's going to be another roadblock for it. But once it gets past that, I think it's going to be kind of, you know, steady sailing for the bad guys. But let's go ahead and move to the next film. Like I said, we got 3 to look at. The next one, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. All right, so the pros. Internet buzz has been high. Absolutely. I know that I'm excited for this thing. A meta Nicolas Cage film has been brewing for well over a year, and the trailer reception is positive as it can possibly get. And it had great critic reviews, sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes at one point in time. But by the way, all of these films are getting great reviews. All 3 films that I'm reviewing right now, or I'm predicting right now, all getting great reviews. So I don't think the reviews or any word of mouth is going to be in the way. I think this is going to have really positive tracking for all 3 of these films. It also says The Gentleman, of course, you know, it's comparable to The Gentleman in terms of its tracking, and The Gentleman I thought was a really good film. Adult males will be the bread and butter target for this film. Absolutely. I know where I'm going to be on Thursday night, which has been noted ad nauseum, have been a reliable demographic throughout the pandemic box office recovery. Look, I'm already done with the pandemic. I think that's over with. You know, you had Sonic doing $72 million a couple of weeks back. You know, the box office is exploding. I think the pandemic is a wrap at this point, at least as far as as the movie going experience is concerned. Unless something happens, I don't even think it's something to really kind of look at. So what are the cons? It's a niche film. It looks like a niche film. It looks like a film that's going to get a small but enthusiastic audience. It's getting a lot of great reviews, but yeah, I mean, it's not like, it's not a Marvel film. It's not a, a Harry Potter film. It's not a Sonic, it's not a franchise. It's just a single film. And sometimes people are like, maybe not, I don't know. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Then it also says here, late April is usually the slowdown period for the box office when you get hiked up into the summer film. So I don't know if it's going to really be a big issue this time around, because there's so much going on in theaters. And I think April, even late April, that's kind of like almost pre-summer anyway. You see Doctor Strange is coming out right at the beginning of May. And then I remember like the Avengers films, both of them, Infinity War and Endgame, those came out in April as well, end of April. So I think April is kind of like that pre-summer. It's like getting ready for summer so that those films that come out that time can still have a nice long run into the summer. Okay, so that's for those two. Now, we don't have anything to read in terms of pros and cons for the Northman. I'm just going to kind of say my thoughts on what I think the pros and cons are. Number one, it's a period piece. I think that's going to work against it, okay? And we're going to see that on the comparisons that, period pieces, they can be hit and miss, if it's a period piece like Braveheart, and I think this is going to kind of lean closer to that, I think it can work, okay? Because it is action, it's visceral, it's a revenge story, it's rated R, it's going to have lots of blood, it's going to have lots of raw emotion and violence. I think that's going to really attract a lot of the folks that would probably go check out The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I think that a lot of people who would go see the Nick Cage film are absolutely going to be like, man, should I go see the Northman? Do I feel like a comedy right now? Or do I feel like, yeah, revenge, let's go get these guys? That's going to play into the minds of these guys. Plus, it's got kind of like a Viking kind of feel, and I think like Vikings right now are pretty popular. I think people are, Thor, that whole thing, Valhalla. I think the Vikings show that's on Netflix. I think, people want to see stuff like that. I think that that's going to play perfectly for that particular type of audience, So those are my pros and cons on that one. I think, yeah, period piece is going to be tough, but also if it's got some good visceral violence, I think that'll attract a lot of men to go watch this film. But again, I thought the same thing about Ambulance, and we saw how that worked out. But in any case, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the reviews for these films. All right. And we're going to start off with The Northman, sitting at an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, looking absolutely great. A bloody revenge epic and a breathtaking visual marvel. The Northman finds the filmmaker Robert Eggers expanding his scope without sacrificing any of his signature style. Looks great. Let's check these out real quick. I like right off the bat, a visual stunning but vapid and tedious, exhausting video game. Well, that's too bad. It is melodrama and murder and mayhem and witchcraft. Ooh-wee. Man, tell me that don't sound like that's gonna be something pretty freaking awesome. Okay, it's everything that Robert Eggers does best on the biggest scale, and it's his best film. 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 4. Okay, The Northman is how epics should be done. All right, so a lot of good reviews. Like I said, none of these have bad reviews. Barry Hurt says, a guttural primal grunt of a movie that is all raging testosterone and incendiary machismo. I love nearly every minute of it. Yeah, you know what, man? I might hearing these. I don't know. I might be thinking like, man, should I go see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent or go see this thing? All right, let's see. The Northman is well acted. This is Julian Roman. The Northman is well acted, directed, and undeniably thrilling. Alexander Skarsgård cuts a swath of bloody vengeance in a ferocious Viking epic. Whew. This film vividly combines Hamlet-esque narrative with Scandinavian history and mythology. Man, I'm telling you, man. If I don't see it on Thursday, I'm gonna see it on Friday for sure. For sure. All right. This guy says, once again, I can't quite see what all the excitement is about, as the American director combines a Shakespearean tale of murder and revenge with Viking mythology, shamanistic ritual, and a huge amount of bloody Dark Ages violence. Everything ain't for everybody there, Matthew. You don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. All right. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so this is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like I said, it had been at 100%. Now it's at 95%. Let's just check out a couple of these. All right, so the respect of his career and an ability to not take himself seriously are the key ingredients in celebrating not just the actor Cage is, but the person too in Tom Gormican's self-aware comedy. All right, cool. It is not the comedy masterpiece that some people have been hyping it up to be, but The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent has plenty of hilarious moments in spoofing Nicolas Cage's public persona and action films. All right, Stephanie from Time says, poke beneath the aggressive fun of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and you'll find a depressing act of redemption that doesn't really need to happen. Maybe not. You know, we all like our little depressing acts of redemption. Stephanie, chill out. All right. The Unbearable Weight. This is Jeff Nelson from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a rip-roaring good time that rightfully instills as much Cage into its running time as humanly possible. All right, see, that's what I want to see. I like Nick Cage as an actor. He's a lot of fun. Yeah, he doesn't always make the best movies, but the guy is an undeniable talent, and you know, I love watching him perform, and it looks like he's having an absolute blast in this film. That's what's making me want to go check this thing out. All right, Bad Guys, 92%, only 39 reviews. So yes, the jury's not all the way in. I think it's going to get a whole lot of reviews this weekend. But yeah, let's check it out. Let's see. Oh, it says here, fast-paced, funny, and full of colorful visual appeal. The Bad Guys is good news for audiences seeking options for the whole family. Yeah. That's what we want. Fun for the whole family. That it worked for Sonic. I guarantee you it's going to work for this one too. Breezy and enjoyable. There it is. And you know, I noticed here, like, you know, these are kind of, you know, smaller, shorter reviews when I was looking at this earlier. It feels like the delightfully devious love child of Ocean's 11 and Looney Tunes. I heard like people comparing this to like Reservoir Dogs and Ocean's 11 and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, man, is it getting that deep? I don't know. I might have to check this one out too. A real inventive, entertaining crowd pleaser that's fun for the whole family. That's all you need to be. Just fun for the whole family. You know, keep it simple. Moderate family fun. Boom. I'd have preferred a narrative with more complexity, but The Bad Guys knows its audience and knows what it's trying to sell. One for the kids. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the numbers. Let's check out what these films have to do in order to make some money, and what do I think they're going to do not only on their opening weekend, but overall through their entire run. Let's check it out. All right, folks, here we go. Starting off with the Northman. It's make it or break it. All right, so here we go. $70 million budget. Not bad, but probably could have came in a little bit lower if it needed to, because it's going to need $175 million to break even. You know, again, that's 2.5 times the budget. That's how we get to the break even number. Whew, that's going to be tough. And you see everything that's standing in the way. All right, of course, we got The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like, I'm already kind of figuring out if this is something that I want to see. We got Doctor Strange coming 2 weeks later. That Doctor Strange is, by the way, that's going to be in everybody's way, because that's something on the horizon, and it's only going to get a 2-week run up until Doctor Strange drops and just starts putting a pounding to the entire cinematic game. But you also have the NBA Finals, right? NBA Finals is going on. That's going to pull some men away. That's going to pull a few, young kids away that like the NBA. And then down there in the corner, really tiny, a little bit of the Secrets of Dumbledore, maybe. Again, it's going to be in its second weekend, okay? So even though folks are saying, man, I don't think that, look, it's in his second weekend, all right? Dumbledore is still going to pull some seats, all right? If it wasn't there, I think this thing would be in better shape. So, all right, so let's look at what it needs to do overall. So I compared it to The Last Duel, but like I said, it's a period piece on the same style as The Last Duel. And just like The Last Duel, so The Last Duel, you remember, they had a big all-star cast. Look at that. You got Matt Damon, you got Adam Driver, you got Jodie Comer, you got Ben Affleck. Lots of big names right there. The Northman is going to have a good, sizable, nice little cast too, okay? It has, obviously, Skarsgård. It's going to have Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke, Nicole Kidman, Anna Taylor-Joy. Big cast in both of these films. But look what The Last Duel did Friday night in its opener, okay? Now, keep in mind, this was still kind of pandemic territory, but nevertheless, 1.8 on its opening night opening weekend 4.7, and they thought it was going to do a little bit more. They actually projected, okay, this thing might do about 5 million opening night. When it didn't do but one, then they said, okay, well, it's going to do 5 million opening weekend, and didn't even do that. 10.8 million domestic total, worldwide of 30.5 million. So I think the Northman is going to do a little bit better than that for the reasons that I already stated. Viking, the more visceral action, the last duel kind of seemed a little highbrow. This is just like kind of down in the guts. You read the reviews, down in the gutter, in the guts, in the blood. We're just going to have a visceral, just bloodbath out there. And I think that's why I believe personally that this will do a lot better than the last duel. $14 million opening weekend, a domestic total of 32 million, a worldwide total of 70 million. Now, will it make its money? Well, doesn't look like it, based on what, we just recently projected, right? Needed 175 based on its budget, and it's only going to make its budget. So, but you never know what will happen. You never know how things might shake out. It might take off overseas. Just not sure about it. But nevertheless, that's my initial look. Kind of a hard film to gauge. But let's go ahead forward and let's look at the next one. And the next one we're going to look at is The Bad Guys. All right. So here's what The Bad Guys has for us, okay? It's looking at $80 million budget. Needs 200 million to break even. All right, here's what's in its way. We already talked about Sonic. Fantastic Beasts in its second weekend, that's going to cut some of those seats out. All right, still got a little bit of the NBA finals, but I think like families and everything like that, they'll probably say, all right, let's go check this thing out. This should be all right. And then, like I said, of course, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, that's going to be on everybody's, because again, it only has 2 weeks until that film comes out. I compared it to Boss Baby. Boss Baby to me was like the last DreamWorks title, new to the market, and here's what it did. Okay, so I think this is going to be kind of comparable. $15 million Friday night, all right, and I think they'll both do about the same. Now, the opening weekend, because of everything that's in here with The Bad Guys, I don't think it'll do much more than 46 million. Now, that's a large number, and even for me, I'm saying that you're probably way overshooting this thing. But nevertheless, I think that it can come close to that. Domestic total, 175 million for the Boss Baby, 160 for The Bad Guys, and then a worldwide total, 526 is what the Boss Baby did. I think a worldwide total of 500 million. Again, this thing is getting great reviews. Yeah, there's a lot in its way. It's going to have to do bonko numbers overseas, international numbers. They don't have to really help this thing along. And I think it will. This seems like a film that everybody can kind of go to and enjoy. But again, we'll see how it goes. Okay, last film. This is the interesting one. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. We don't know what the budget is. We have no idea what the budget is. So what is this film going to do? No clue. No, we don't know what it needs. We don't know what it costs. We don't know what it needs. Now, eyeballing this thing just on the, on the trailers, I'm like, it can't be much more than 40 to 50 million dollars unless they paid some of these stars a ridiculous amount of money. Can't be more than 40 or 50 million. But let's go ahead and take a look at that. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Fantastic Beasts, Doctor Strange. Those are the films that I think are going to hold back its potential. What it could do if none of this stuff was in theaters. And then, of course, the NBA Finals, again, also going to impact the box office somewhat this weekend. Okay, now, what do I think it's going to do? Well, we compared it. I saw the comparison before to The Gentleman. I went ahead and said, yeah, The Gentleman seems like a fair comparison. That's what The Gentleman did on its opening Friday, 3.7 million, opening weekend of 10 million, a domestic total of 36 million, and then a worldwide total of 115 million. So for Nick Cage, you're looking at maybe about $5 million opening for Friday night. Opening weekend of $15 million, a domestic total of 54 million overall, and then the worldwide total of 135 million. So, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, if they spent in that 40 to 50 million dollar range, they should be all right. They should be good because they'll more than make their money back. But if they didn't, if they went way above that, if they went to like 70 million or something, they're gonna lose money. I don't think it's gonna really rake in like $200 million, but I could be wrong. Yeah, but that'll do it. Thanks for watching and really hanging in there. I really appreciate it. Whew, this was a long video. If I ever say I'm gonna do 3 box office predictions again in the future, somebody come through the screen and just kind of pop slap me upside the head. All right, but that'll do it, folks. Yeah, go ahead, let me know what you think these films are going to do in the box office this weekend in the comments below. And I want to thank you for watching. See you next time.